Hello and welcome to Legal Insights. In today's video, we will try to analyze the schemes and objects of Hindu Succession Act 1956. So, let's begin. Prior to the enactment of Hindu Succession Act 1956, rules of succession among Hindus were governed by uncodified Hindu law, and such uncodified Hindu law was different in different parts of India. For example, in case of Assam and Bengal, the Abhaga school of Hindu law was applicable, and in case of rest of India, Mitaksara school of Hindu law was applicable. Not only that, there were several sub-schools of Mitaksara school. For example, Benares school, Madras school, and so on. And rules of succession were different under different sub-schools and different schools. On and from 17th June 1956, succession among Hindus is governed by the provisions of Hindu Succession Act 1956. Even though the Act deals with both intestate and testamentary succession, Section 30 of the Act specifically refers to the provisions of Indian Succession Act, and it says that in case of Hindus, testamentary succession will be governed by Indian Succession Act 1925. This act contains 30 sections, and such 30 sections are divided into 4 chapters. There is a schedule at the end of the act which specifies different classes of heirs among Hindus. Earlier, the act recognized rules of both Dayabhaga and Mitaksara schools with special emphasis on Dayabhaga school. Section 6 of the Act said that devolution of Mitaksara co-personal property would be by way of survivorship, and in other cases, devolution of the property would be by intestate and testamentary succession as per the provisions of the Act. However, the difference is abrogated by Hindu Succession Amendment Act 2005, and after the amendment, under both schools, devolution of property will be governed by the provisions of the Act, and it will be by way of intestate and testamentary succession and not by way of survivorship. Now, let's discuss arrangement of sections under the Act. Section 8 to 13 of the Act deal with rules of succession in case of Hindu males, that is, rules, orders, and distribution of properties among class 1, class 2 heirs, and among agnates and cognates. Section 14 of the Act introduces a new concept of women's absolute property by abrogating the concept of women's estate as applicable under the old Hindu law. Section 15 and 16 of the Act similarly deal with rules of succession in case of Hindu females. On the other hand, Section 18 to 22 of the Act lay down general rules of succession, that is, the concept of per stripes, per capita, the concept of preemption, and many other things. Section 23 and 24 of the Act are now repealed after the enactment of Hindu Succession Amendment Act 2005. Prior to such amendment, Section 23 used to deal with prohibition on claiming partition by Hindu females, and Section 24 used to deal with disqualification of certain widows on their remarriage. Section 25 to 28 of the Act deal with certain kinds of disqualifications such as murder and conversion. Section 29 of the Act deals with escheat, and as we earlier discussed, Section 30 of the Act deals with testamentary succession. Now, let's discuss the objects behind enactment of Hindu Succession Act 1956. As we all know, preamble of a statute lays down the objects behind enactment of such statute, and Hindu Succession Act is not an exception to this general rule. So, let's see what its preamble says. As per the preamble appended with the Act, it is an act to codify the law relating to intestate succession among Hindus. So, the primary object of the Act is to codify all the prevailing laws of succession among Hindus. As we discussed earlier, prior to the enactment of the Act, succession among Hindus was governed by uncodified Hindu law, and such uncodified Hindu law was different in different parts of India depending on the school applicable in such area. This Act abrogates such differences by introducing a set of uniform rules of succession among Hindus. Again, earlier there were several discriminations towards female Hindus regarding succession. For example, they had absolute ownership over their Stridhans, however, they had limited ownership over the property they got by way of inheritance. This act eliminates such discrimination by introducing Section 14, which confers upon them absolute ownership over the property, irrespective of origin of the property. Again, rules of succession were different for female Hindus depending on the origin of the property. Such discrimination was also eliminated by the provisions of Section 15 and 16 of the Act. This object of the Act was furthered by Hindu Succession Amendment Act 2005, which repealed the provisions of Section 23 and 24 and modified drastically provisions of Section 6 of the Act. Again, prior to the enactment of the Act, there were several disqualifications in case of succession among Hindus, and some disqualifications were inhumane, for example, disease and deformity. This Act limited the scope of disqualification, and now disqualification is limited to murder of the propositors and conversion. That's all for today's video. Please like, share and subscribe the channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.